My name's Paul, welcome to Paul Perambulates. In this episode, I'm in North Wales, in Eryri, Snowdonia in English, climbing the Glyderau. My start point is the free parking alongside the A5 in the Ogwen Valley, near the Gwynt campsite. Postcode LL240EU. Grid reference SH67216050. What 3 words? Costumed shoulders cabbage. I head south, up the Cwm Tryfan, and round the end of the valley to get up onto the main Glyderau ridge. I then traverse the ridge westwards to the summit of Glyder Fach, and then slightly further on to my overnight stop, Castell y Gwynt. On day 2, I briefly revisit the summit of Glyder Fach to see the sunrise, then carry on along the ridge westward to the summit of Glyder Fawr. From there, I head back westwards, opting out of my planned route down for safety reasons and instead retracing my steps back past the summit of Glyder Fach and down along Cwm Tryfan back to the A5. Total distance 12.47 kilometres. Total height gain 885 metres. Total walking time 6 hours and 4 minutes. There's lots of free parking alongside the A5 all down the valley, although obviously at peak times this gets busy. The local campsites will charge you a £5 for parking all day, although you can't park there overnight unless you're camped there. We start by heading in towards the Gwynt campsite. Footpath goes just to the left of that and head up on past it. Through this gate and take a right. And then we'll want to take a left down the bottom there. Here's a reassuring reminder of where we are. Once we've gone through this gate, we'll follow this excellent path, which looks like it turns into steps, going to the left of the nearer outcrop and round to the right of the further one. A little further up, it has indeed turned into steps, going up the valley to the east of Tryfan, exactly where I want to go. Very nice steps too. Big slabs of rock, very secure footing. Arriving at this stile, I have a choice of paths. That one will take me up Tryfan the hard way, not where I want to go today. I want to go up the valley using the nice paved path. I'm not going to lie, this is hard. Got about 700 metres of height gain here in less than a couple of miles. It's steep and it's tough, especially today because it's very hot. So if you're struggling, take it gently. Looking up at the summit of Tryfan from the path below, it looks like there's some crazy bloke standing right on the edge. Or a woman, could be. Or it might even just be a rock that's shaped like a person. Rather him, her, it than me. I got the search and rescue chopper circling overhead as I go. Bumped into a guy earlier who told me there'd been some sort of Welsh 3000s fell running event earlier today, which is finished. Wonder if they're just out looking for somebody who didn't quite make it. One advantage of coming up in the afternoon, get past a certain time And when you're this side of the mountain, you go into some blissful shade. That makes the whole world feel like a better place. Tempting as it was to include Tryfan on this trip, it's very steep, it's very technical, I'm very tired, got nobody else with me, and I've got a whole night's kit on my back. So, discretion being the better part of valour, onwards and upwards to the Glyderau. One way up to the top called Sinister Gully, which sounds scary until you realise sinister is Latin for left, and it's on the left of the ridge. Some people actually scramble up that ridge, which is called Bristly Ridge. I'm going to do neither. I'm going to take the more shallow path, and this is that path you can see going across the top of the valley, taking me up onto the ridge. Even on this path, you've got a little bit of exposure, quite a long way down there, but it's not too bad. A little example of some of the excellent work that he's done to make these paths safe to walk. There's been a buttress built here to hold up the scree, and then some nice steps the other side. So what would previously have been a very perilous scree crossing is now relatively safe. Whether you go the steep way or the shallow way, you've always got to make the height in the end. So I am going to have to scramble up there, but it doesn't look too bad. Wild camping dilemma now. At what point do you pick up water so you don't have to go looking for it when you've camped? Following a little stream up is sort of petering out. I think now's probably the time. Changed my mind about that now. As I follow the stream up, it actually seems to get bigger. So, with a view to carrying the water as little distance as possible, I'm going to go as far up as I can before I collect water. Just when you think you're right out there in the back of beyond, where no one's ever set foot, big bags of stones, obviously dropped by helicopter for the path work. Spoils the ambience, but it's a good thing if the paths are safe. Job 1, empty all receptacles. Cheers. And then fill them all up again. As a water refill spot, that turns out to have been a pretty good guess. 2 minutes later, I'm at the cairn on the ridge path. So I've still got some climbing to do, but nowhere near as steep. And that's good news, now that I've got lots of heavy water on board. We have some other wild campers up here. Not surprising tonight, such beautiful weather. Now we're on the ridge, we're really starting to be able to see stuff. Tryfan still dominates, being closest. Behind it, on the other side of the Ogwen Valley, the southern Carnedau, Penir Owen, Carned David, Carned Llewellyn, and then looking around to eastern Eryri. path is scree, but quite shallow, no hands needed, so perfectly safe, if a bit annoying. Coming up at this time of day, you are walking into the sun, which is in the process of heading for the horizon, so that can be a bit off-putting, or it can give you the most beautiful camera shots possible. Fingers crossed the latter. The geology on the approach to the top of Glyder Fach is quite fascinating. Spiky, jagged rocks, prehistoric looking. I'm now at the top of Sinister Gully and Bristly Ridge, having not had to climb them, which I'm quite thankful for. Very near the top now, and I am looking at absolutely massive boulder fields all around. Leaving the summit of Glyder Fach for the morning, I make sure I get to my evening's objective before the sun goes down. This is Castell y Gwynt, the Castle of the Winds. Fortunately, it's not too windy tonight for me to set up just metres away from it. And I'm in time to watch the sun go down behind its magical spires and pinnacles. The day's objective achieved, I enjoy my evening meal. This is the dusk view of Castell y Gwynt with the Snowdonia Massif behind it, and then looking round southwards towards the Rhinogs. Panning round from the summit of Glyder Fach here, northward, looking along the Ogwen Valley, out past Anglesey to the Irish Sea, and then further around to Eryri and the rest of the peaks along the edge of the valley. Tomorrow's objective, Glyder Fawr, just visible. Last thing, I'm treated to a beautifully clear view of a waning gibbous moon. Morning. Well, as snug as I am in my sleeping bag, there is a mountain dawn out there to be seen. So, I best get up and be getting on with it. First task of the day, a slightly risky scramble over some large boulders up to the summit of Glyder Fach. Top of Glyder Fach, 994 metres. Looking round to the north, Tryfan and the Cornetai. Southwest, Eryri's highest, Fach, Snowdonia. Northwest, along the valley and over Anglesey to the Irish Sea. Closest of all, west along the ridge, my next destination, Glyder Fawr. First coffee of the day. Cheers. My campsite and its backdrop in daylight. Castell y Gwynt turns up as a location in a lot of fantasy epic films and TV series, and it's not hard to see why. This is after I've packed the tent away. As always, no one would know I'd ever been here. The northern end of Castell y Gwynt drops right off a cliff, so the only safe way round is to the south of it. Descending on the path to the south side of Castell y Gwynt now. Great views of Snowdon all the way. This path is very, very steep, and like a lot of the paths around here, has loads and loads of massive boulders that you have to scramble over rather than walk on. I'm using my sticks, and if you've got them I would advise you to. Once you get down into the gap between Glyder Fach and Glyder Fawr, the path abruptly stops, having these massive rocks in it, and turns into a straight path along the side of a grassy hill. It's as if it's saying, I'm not Glyder Fach anymore, I'm Glyder Fawr now. Castell y Gwynt still looming above me. Looking at it from the other side now, not quite as impressive from this side, but then it would be hard pushed to be. You certainly get plenty of those standing on the edge of a cliff moments around here. I think I'm at the top of Glyder Fawr, but it's hard to tell because there's another top over there. It's about the same height. I claim victory anyway. Check out the view behind it. The outcrops at the top of Glyder Fawr have the same serrated, spiky character as the other tops along the Glyderau ridge. Here's the view back along the ridge to Glyder Fach and Castell y Gwynt. Eryri and the Snowdon Massif with the Irish Sea behind. This is the closest we come to Eryri on this route, and we can pick out individuals on the top. In the foreground of it, we can easily see how Crib Goch, Red Ridge, got its name. Glyder and Glyder Fawr are the next two peaks along this ridge, ones we'll save for another day. Southern Eryri looks serene in the autumn morning mist. This is a popular destination and lots of people arrive just after me. And there are more on the way, so I think now is a good time for me to leave. Heading back along the ridge, I can see my planned route down off it, Eryri. At the top of Eryri, a shelter with a view. From it, we can see Penir Ogwen, Cornet David, Cornet Llewellyn, Tryfan, Glyder Fach and Castell y Gwynt. Heading down it, a cairn marks the top of the path. Looking down my nominated way down there, Eryri, the ridge. It's just a path on the map, but this is quite a serious scramble. And I've decided I'm on my own. I've got a night's kit on my back. Going down, which is more dangerous than coming up. Need my sticks, but shouldn't really be using sticks on a scramble like that. So all in all, going to avoid that. I'm going to go back down the way up that I came. You've already seen everything along this route on my way up, so I'm not going to show it all to you again. But one thing we did miss on the way up was these guys, the mountain goats. They are renowned for being, shall we say, characters, so probably worth observing from a distance. Down in the Ogwen Valley again, surrounded by wonderful scenery. That was the Glyderau walk. An absolutely amazing experience. Difficulty wise, I'm going to give it a 9. Carrying a full night's kit up there on my own was extremely hard work. Getting around up there as well can be difficult. There's a fair bit of scrambling to be done to get to the absolute tops. I was a little bit disappointed not to do the entire route as planned, but the only bit that I missed was that ridge down Eryri. If you're in doubt, the safest thing to do is always to come back the way you came, because you've already been there, you know what to expect. The objectives were Glyder Fawr and Glyder Fach, and they were both achieved. I also, just as a little bit of a bonus, got some unbelievable views all around Snowdonia. And if you pick the right weather, which I certainly did, then that's what you'll get as well. I don't recommend wild camping next to Castell y Gwynt. Even in these benign conditions, it got very, very blowy up there last night. In any worse weather, I think your tent would be away and over the ridge. In order to do this walk, and that's even leaving out Tryfan on my right here, you need to have a level of fitness, you need to have the right kit, you need to have a certain amount of experience. If you think that you can do it, I would say there's every chance that you probably can. So pick the right day and come and give it a shot. All maps and 3D fly-throughs provided by kind permission of Ordnance Survey through their excellent OS Online application. Big thanks also for all music used in this video to mixkit.co and tunetank.com. Specific song and artist credits can be found in the comments. These videos are designed to show you around the routes I walk in case you're considering doing them yourself. They are not designed to be any kind of hill walking training or guidance. If you need hill walking skills, obtain them in person from a reputable, qualified provider. Please don't attempt these walks without appropriate levels of fitness and equipment. If you don't have the required levels of knowledge and experience, only undertake them accompanied by somebody who does. You can find out more about me and my background and experience at my website, paulperambulates.co.uk. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Paul Perambulates. If you did, please subscribe and share.